Hello, I am Marco, a language teacher and researcher, and today I will talk about how to teach and to learn a language in 2023. We all know that for language teaching and language learning, we have 4 basic skills, which are listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Okay, we have some other theoretical frameworks that add some skills or prefer to talk about different skills or different classifications. Okay, but this is the most admitted one, the most common one, and the one we are going to use to understand what's happening here in 2023, and the one I will use to defend my idea, my proposal, or idea, better said, is that nowadays the good teacher must focus in speaking in their classes, okay? Not in listening, not in reading, not in writing, because the students can easily learn them using new tools that have recently appeared, some of them in the last months. But what the student cannot do is to practice their listening to a machine. They need, most of the times, or at least right now, they need a human person. So the good teacher focuses in speaking in 2023. Some of these new technologies that allow students to practice and to train writing, listening, and reading skills. They are Duolingo, specifically for grammar and vocabulary. I have talked about Duolingo before. It's not as simple as just taking the application and do the exercises. You should take a notebook and write down the words you don't understand, and the grammar challenging things for you, so on. So it has a procedure too at the same time, and you should repeat the sentences you do in Duolingo. Okay, always to practice your pronunciation. But yeah, Duolingo is a very good tool to learn the grammar and vocabulary. Then we have ChatGPT. I will explain this later. Okay, next slide. Then we have audiovisual platforms like Netflix, YouTube. I will talk also about my two favorite platforms later on. The good thing about platforms is that they allow for subtitles. So you can find videos according to your level, especially in YouTube. But at the same time, okay, I like this series, but it's difficult for me to follow. Okay, you can put subtitles, but no, it's not just as simple as putting subtitles. So once you get the plot of the episode and you get used to the accents of the characters, then you can just turn down the subtitles. And if later you still have problems to understand what they are saying, you can turn it on again. So you can play with subtitles. Just one recommendation: subtitles always in the same language you are listening to. Okay, so the idea is that, again, the teacher in their classes, the time for the class is the time for speaking, because the rest of the things you can do it by yourself. I'm talking to the students now, okay? And but it's not as simple for a teacher as just speaking in the class and that's all. No, the good teacher nowadays also mentors, also offers a guidance. Okay, do this on Monday, this on Tuesday, this on Wednesday. It's something similar as going to a dietist, and the dietist give you a diet and you follow the diet every day. Something similar for language learning and teaching. And then at the end of the week, in the weekly season, or in the weekly session, then you can ask the students, and the students can tell you, hey, I have these difficulties, can we practice this more, can you explain me this, because I was trying to understand this but I couldn't. Okay, mentoring and speaking. So, for example, for our writing capacities, here we have ChatGPT, one of the most popular AI tools that appeared by the end of 2022. But we have a lot of more. Actually, I prefer to use another one, Grammarly, which is specialized in writing, in English writing. But here we will use this. It's free. All our students can use it. It's very simple. We are gonna just ask ChatGPT, can you proofread this text? Elena are very beautiful people, but Carlos and Maria is even better. Okay, let's check it. And ChatGPT gives us the correction. Elena is a very beautiful person, but Carlos and Maria are even better. And here we have the explanation. Yep. So it's proofreading. It allows us to improve, and it allows our students to improve the writing skills Teachers are less and less necessary for writing and story. And I use it. We can use it also for Spanish and for any other language. We can try it. Puedes corregir este texto. I will put some common mistakes in my Vietnamese students. Among my Vietnamese students, hay la casa con la chimenea bonito. And again, yeah, hay una casa con una chimenea bonita. Yes, makes the change, and ChatGPT explains what's happening here, what's wrong, so we can learn. Teachers are less and less necessary for most of the skills, and as I am defending in this field, but in the specific case of writing skills, since 6 months ago, 7 months ago, everything has changed. I would like to talk also about some of the applications I use and some of the tools I use for language learning and teaching. One of them is Grammarly. Grammarly is a proofreading assistant, similar to what ChatGPT did before, as I showed you. But Grammarly is more useful because it's just a plugin that offers you personalized advice according to different levels. Okay, this is wrong. Okay, this is not wrong, but I think you should change it with this and the other word. Okay, you are writing in a formal way or in an informal. It's much more personalized. It's much more focused on language teaching and learning, or better said, language proofreading. I discovered it last week. It's the only one I pay for, although there is a free version too, and I'm happy to pay for it. Second is Duolingo. Duolingo is, everybody knows Duolingo. I have already explained it before. It offers you activities to learn the grammar and the vocabulary of the languages. It works very well for some languages, and you also need to follow some steps. Just buy a notebook, write down the vocabulary you don't understand and the grammar you don't understand, and revise it. Say the sentences loud. I mean, all these steps are also explained in Duolingo. It's very, very useful. I always say, if your teacher goes to class and say, okay, let's do this exercise, okay, let's check this exercise, that's a bad teacher. Okay, you can do it by yourself at home with Duolingo. Third is RTV, BBC. They are broadcast platforms similar to Netflix, but free. Free and with amazing series, amazing material, and you can also put subtitles. As I said before, play with the subtitles in order to improve step by step your listening capacities. And I also use Google Podcasts. They offer podcasts in different languages, normally for different levels. So at the same time, I'm quite an old man. I always go to bed and I sleep listening to some podcasts in different languages: French, Portuguese, English, Spanish. It's a good tool too. And finally, I would like to talk about Scale. That's an amazing platform, YouTube channel especially, with the different videos, different levels to practice listening activities. Very important new thing I'm gonna say now. Always for teaching and for learning, use as far as your classroom has audiovisual equipment, use material with video, because language is communication, but communication is not only language, it's also body language. Okay, so body language enhances pure linguistic communication. Okay, so it's much better to understand the other person, and it's much easier to learn a language if you can see images showing the context and the body language. If your language teacher goes to class and tells you, okay, let's do this exercise and let's check it, okay, let's listen to this MP3 or radio cassette file and let's check the listening activity, I'm sorry to tell you that you are losing your time and you are losing your money. In 2023, teachers must focus in mentoring students, in offering personal learning plannings, and especially in speaking in the classes, because speaking is the ability the students cannot study and cannot train by themselves.